Welcome back to Race for the White House. As Barack Obama says, we are the interactive cable program that we have been waiting for, and it's time where you get to play with the panel. Still with us, Rachel, Maddow, Linda. He actually said that.
Deborah Mathis. A little bit of a stretch, David. A little bit.
Yes, we can, right? Yes, we can. Si se puede.
Everybody's here. First up, Chelsea Clinton was asked today if she thought her mother would be a better president than her father. This is what she said.
Hopefully, with Pennsylvania's help, she will be our next president. And yes, I do think she'll be a better president.
All right, Phil in Kansas reacts. Go to the quote board. Chelsea Clinton may be right about her mother being a better president than her father. She's smarter, she's more driven, she's tenacious. But the most important thing she lacks is Bill's charm and ability to connect with people. Even when he got caught in a lie, he was charming. Rachel, kind of interesting for her to even weigh in about this. She was asked directly about it.
Yeah, she's been making a lot of headlines this week with these comments, not only sniping back at a student who asked her about Monica Lewinsky, but also weighing in and saying, yeah, my mom would be better than my dad. I'm glad that Easter's over, because otherwise Easter dinner might be a little awkward at the Clintons this time around. Yeah. But I actually think the callers or the emailers' point there is actually pretty well taken. I think that's exactly the way a lot of Clinton fans even think about the differences between Hillary and Bill.
I think they raised them kind of practical down on the Clinton farm.
Go ahead, Tony, first.
Yeah, I think they raised him I think Chelsea is being pretty practical in a judgment. I think Bill Clinton has got about 15 IQ points on Hillary. I think the chance of her being a better president than Bill is pretty slight.
Where does the 15 IQ points come from?
Bill Clinton is a brilliant man. I disagree with him on everything, but I dealt with him a lot back in the 90s.
And Hillary Clinton is?
She's smart. He's brilliant.
Okay,
my judgment.
But on the Tony Blankley scale.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
Deborah, I do think she's 137. He's 155. That's a guess.
Go ahead, Deborah. Go ahead.
I've covered them since 1976. I've known and covered them since 1976. I know them pretty well. I can tell you that Bill Clinton loves Chelsea's answer. He thinks that's probably adorable and is applauding her for that.
Yeah, sure.
The other thing is that Chelsea's right in this way. Bill Clinton has always been the better politician, as he was compared to almost anyone. But Hillary Clinton has always been the better public servant. She actually follows the proposal, the idea, to fruition. She babysits it. She cares about it. She doesn't just do the pitch and then walk away and just put her name on whatever you come up with. So in that way, I think Chelsea's absolutely right. Now, nobody can give her a charm shot. She just doesn't have that like Bill Clinton does.
It is interesting, though, that
I wonder, I wonder if there wasn't a message there for many people who remember that the Clinton administration, as good as the economy was also a very messy one, and that it left many people with a bad feeling after Bill Clinton left. The Democrats have loved Bill Clinton, but they felt very bad about how he handled his personal behavior, and one has to wonder if that wasn't a subtle message that you absolutely won't have to worry about any messes like that with my mother.
All right, Randy James in Missouri is worried about the consequences of a nominee selected by the superdelegates. Listen to this.
If Hillary succeeds in essentially gaining the nomination through the superdelegates, now wouldn't McCain be able to use that against her in the general election by saying that she wasn't elected by the people? In other words, she isn't rightfully the nominee, that she stole the election?
Well, this is the debate, and I think Randy hits it, Rachel, but of course it's Barack Obama and his supporters that would raise it against her first. Don't you think all this talk about a superdelegate mini conference, a vote, is going to clear this out, because they're going to wait for some voting to be finished and then sort of mandate the results or not a rubber stamp, but ratify those results?
Yeah, a couple of quick points here. First of all, I don't think the Republicans care if the Democrats beam their nominee up from Mars, and I don't think Democrats care that about Republicans when it gets to the general election. I don't think the mechanics of the primary process are a compelling thing to the voters in the general. But on the issue of the superdelegates, the superdelegates are going to decide who the Democratic nominee is. That is a given. That is one thing we mathematically know. Neither candidate can get there with the primaries and caucuses anymore. The only question for the Democrats is whether or not the superdelegates make their decision in Denver at the end of August, 2 months before the general, or whether they make it on July 1st, as Howard Dean suggested today, or some other time, like May 6th, which is what Chris Dodd suggested today, some other time that gives the Democratic candidate more of a chance to run a general election campaign against McCain.
Look, if the superdelegates pick Hillary, it'll be because there's a consensus that they believe that Obama cannot win. Otherwise, he's going to get it. He's going to get a majority.
Won't that be true? Won't that be true if they pick Obama? That it'll be because they think Clinton can't win.
Obama's got the process going in his favor, so she's got to reverse it, and it's only going to be reversed if the consensus of the leadership of the Democratic Party is he can't win. If they judge that race has become too much of an issue or whatever.
All right, let me move on. Next up, Nalita asks if Obama can lead from day one. Let's go to the quote board and see what she says. What do you think? Will Obama use the first 4 years as commander-in-chief as a on-the-job training session when the United States needs the most brilliant seasoned mind at this time in the history of the U.S.? Deborah, this is the argument from the Clinton team. Deborah, react to that email?
I'm sorry. I just can't agree with her concern over that, because we know that the presidency is the most powerful position in the world, certainly in this country at least, but it's not a lone position. You aren't there by yourself. And if you have the intelligence that a Barack Obama or a Hillary Clinton or a John McCain, for that matter, have, you know to surround yourself with the best and the brightest, as David Halberstam called them, because when Kennedy was sitting there as the missiles were being amassed in Cuba, he didn't go into a little room by himself and make all the decisions completely alone. He had the counsel of the best and brightest in the country, then made the decision on his studied judgment.
Moving on, Tom in Texas thinks the race has become a popularity contest and asks this: has the election become more American Idol than American president? I mean, Tony, there is a real aspect of personality over policy about this race.
Well, there always is a big aspect. Usually the taller candidate wins also. I mean, look, people do not make a lot of policy decisions. They judge whether they like a candidate. Then, policy's a part of it. But there's nothing new about personality being a big factor. Although sometimes someone like Nixon won twice with a lousy personality because people did think he was smarter and more able. So there is room for a lousy personality to win. So Hillary has a chance.